Hi everyone, and welcome to 5 Simple Steps to Use Social Media in Your Business. This is Lisa Larter, and I am so excited that you are here to learn about my simple and effective steps to using social media so that you can authentically build relationships in your business. Now, I told you I had 5 steps, and well, the truth is I have 6. You see, I wanted to find a really easy way for you to remember these steps, so I created an acronym, and the word that I chose had 6 letters and it worked perfectly, so I decided to give you 5 plus 1. I hope you don't mind. A couple other housekeeping items before we get started. I love technology, and I recognize sometimes it can present its own set of challenges. So if for any reason you get disconnected, please call back in. And if for any reason I get disconnected, I promise I'll call back in. And if something comes up and for some unforeseen reason you have to go, no worries. We're recording the call, so we will send a call out to you later. I also wanted to mention that I'm holding this call from my home today, so instead of going into my office, I'm winging it at home. Well, actually, I'm not winging it, but you know what I mean. So for those of you who don't really know me, that means I get to hang out with my 2 favorite fur faces, my dogs. And I know if I tell you about them, they're little miniature wiener dogs, they'll stay quiet. And if I don't, you're guaranteed to hear from them. So if you hear a dog barking, that is a sure sign you are in the right place. I also want to tell you just a little bit about me, just in case you're not really familiar with who I am and what I'm all about. I started my first business at the age of 12. I got hired at Bank's General Store, and I got fired within the first 24 hours for being too young to be employed. And at that point in my life, I started making crafts and chocolates and gathering up books and all kinds of odds and ends and selling them at the flea market in order to fund my shopping habits, specifically designer jeans, which I still have a little bit of a fetish for. So fast forward to the age of 18 when I dropped out of high school and decided to get a job in retail until the fall when I absolutely planned on going back to school. And well, that just never happened because the retail company that I started to work with promoted me and my career took off. I worked for companies like Kinney Canada Group, Suzy Shear, and then in 97 I was recruited to work in the mobile or the wireless industry. So since 97, I really have dabbled in a bunch of small businesses. I owned my own organic gift business. My husband and I owned an organic lawn care business. And up to 2006, I continued to work in the corporate world where I was a very successful senior manager with a really big team, but I longed to own my own business. In 2006, I quit my job and I opened Parlay Wireless, an authorized TELUS dealership, which is kind of like a Sprint or a Verizon in the States, with the intention of consulting other business owners on how to, create successful businesses within the first 5 years. So what happened was it didn't take 5 years for me to get to that plan. 3 months later, I had my first consulting gig, and in 2009, I officially opened Lisa Larter Consulting. Since the beginning of 2010, my efforts have been 100% dedicated to my consulting business, and my store continues to be operated by a manager and is still a successful $1 million business. So today I'm really excited to be able to share a bit of my wisdom with you on how you can use social media in your business. And what I'm going to teach you is probably not what you're expecting. You see, I am passionate. I am creating a Be Social movement. That's right, a Be Social movement where we are bringing people, conversations, and relationships to the forefront. I'm excited to share with you a program that I just recently launched called 8 Weeks to Be Social, How to Create Your Social Media Success Strategy. This program is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm excited to be working with so many great people just like you, who are tired of being marketed at and want to build their business based on relationships and expanding their network. Social media, it just seems to be the buzzword for many marketing companies or marketing departments, marketing agencies today. And often we forget social media is really about people, not marketing. So I want to use an example. I want you to imagine the last time you walked into a retail store and you had an amazing experience. I'm assuming that most of you are recalling a store where a real live person assisted you. They physically helped you with something and created a memorable experience for you. And I'm guessing that you probably go back to that store over and over again. I'm also pretty sure that you're not recalling the last grocery store experience where you walked in, read the sales signage, went to the express checkout, scanned your items, and left without speaking to anyone. When I think about my last great customer service experience, I always think about a store called Melanie Lynn that I shop at, where I know that it'll either be Lise or Nadia who helps me. And when I arrive, they're going to be super happy to see me. They'll greet me warmly. They'll be excited to show me all the new stuff that's come in, especially if there's anything that's in pink. And, they're going to make me feel completely welcome. They're going to go above and beyond to help me find everything that I'm looking for, and usually then some. And I go back to the store over and over again because of the experience they create for me. They make me feel special. So you see, social media, to me, it's more like your best customer service experience when it's done well. It's about creating an experience between people that's memorable and authentic. And just like you were able to recall that great experience you had shopping, I'm sure if I asked you to recall two to three people you know, like, and trust when it comes to social media, you'd be able to bring some people to mind almost immediately. Those are the people you want to do business with. They're the people you want to refer your friends and family to. And it's really unfortunate that most people using social media for business are focusing on marketing at people versus having conversations with people. So whether you are a beginner in the world of using social media or you've been dabbling in it for a while but you're not really satisfied with the outcomes, you're in the right place. If you want to learn how to build a business based on relationships, this is the right call for you. If you are tired of posting and reading marketing at people messages and would prefer to see a social movement about putting people first and conversations first, you are so in the right spot. We don't have a choice today on whether or not we use social media. The fact is, it's infiltrated our lives everywhere. I mean, where do you go today? They've got friggin' Twitter buttons on bus shelters and you can't even click them. So it's everywhere. The fact is, it's infiltrated our lives. And the question is, how well will we adapt at using it? You may not know this, but 50% of mobile internet traffic in the UK is for Facebook. Imagine what that means if you have a business for your customer service, whether it's good customer service or bad. People are already talking about you and your business, whether you're there or not. And the conversation can be much more effective if you are there. So now is really the time to get involved. And I just want to commend you for taking time out of your day and choosing to be here, because this is an important time for your business. You may or may also not know this, but 93% of marketers are using social media for business. So the question I want you to ask yourself when it comes to evaluating the ROI of social media, because everybody asks about ROI, is will your business still be around for 5 years if you don't get involved now? That's really the question. Can your business survive the next 5 years if you do not get involved in social media? I really hope you're not one of the few people that is going to wait to find out. So let's get back to today. Today on this call, we're going to cover my simple steps to effectively using social media for business. We're going to talk about how to build relationships that stick. And I'm going to introduce you to my acronym RELATE. If you haven't got a pen or paper, you might want to get one. I'm going to tell you what RELATE stands for. RELATE stands for review, engage, listen, access, time, and lastly, execute. I'm going to teach you exactly what I have done for the past few years in my $1 million wireless retail store, as well as in my consulting business, where I've gone from the odd $200 power hour each month to a business that is consistently growing and has exceeded the mid-5-figure range on a monthly basis. Now, some of you might be saying, well, that's because you're teaching social media. The truth is, I consider myself the accidental expert. I teach people how to use social media because they ask me to. My experience over the past 20 years has been in sales and customer service. I've always been in front of customers. I've led $100 million sales teams, and I get that the key to success in any business is people, systems, and making your plan or your cause simple and easy to execute. And I got to tell you, when I get calls from people like Deepak Chopra, he isn't calling me to ask me, how do I market more using social media? What he asks me is, how do I connect better and reach people more effectively using Facebook? When the shopping center that I advise, the award-winning shopping center, I might add, International Council, ICSC, International Council of Shopping Centers, when they talk to me about social media, it's never about how do we sell more. It's about how do we engage more? How do we become the mall people know, like, and trust in the community? It's always about relationships every single time. So I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news, excuse me, the bad news is I don't have water. Hang on one sec. I do actually have water. The bad news is we have a limited amount of time together, and I'm going to give you everything I can in the time that we have. But from experience, I can tell you that there may be some topics that you're going to want to go deeper into, and we just won't have time to. So the good news is along the way, I'm going to show you how you can get more on that subject through one of the resources that I offer. And later today, I'm going to show you how you can get some amazing deals on my products and services only, and I seriously mean this, only if you feel inspired and want more. I need to warn you, what I'm about to teach you is not the same as what all the other so-called experts are teaching. I am not coming from a place of being a social media person first. I'm coming from a place of being a sales and service smart business person first who really gets how to use social media. So for those of you who are curious about my upcoming program, the one that I told you that I just launched, which I'm super excited about, if you want to get an early bird peek, you can check it out at yoursocialmediasuccessprogram.com. That'll give you a little snapshot of what it's about. This program is really designed to eliminate overwhelm and inspire success and results. I want to make it easy for you to win. And then as a matter of fact, if you decide that you want to work with me further and you use the code LISAVIP, you'll save $500 off of that price. My clients tell me that I'm able to simplify the complex when it comes to social media and make it easy for them. Some of my clients have even won international awards based on the work that we've done together, not to mention others who have significantly monetized their business after just spending one day together. You know, one thing someone once said to me is, Lisa, when it comes to social media, I always feel like I'm down in the weeds and I just don't know what to do. And then you come along and you spread open the weeds and you point down and you say, go here, and you make it so easy. That to me was the biggest compliment anyone could ever give me. But enough about me. Let's get started. We really only have an hour. So, as I mentioned to you before, the steps we're going to cover today are all tied to one word, relate. If you don't have a pen and paper, now would be a really good time to get one. I'm going to take another sip of water and give you a minute to get a pen and a piece of paper. Well, not a real minute, but a second. Okay? Pen and paper. Go get pen and paper. Okay. Let's start with the letter R. R stands for review. Have you ever been the recipient of what I call the add as friend game? I'm sure you know the one I mean, where you get friend requests from complete strangers. There's no message attached, but they seem to be friends with, in my world, about 46 of my friends. And when I click on them to see what they're all about, I can't find any information about them. There are no details on what they do, where they work, where they're from. I can't see any photos. I can't see any content. And I'm left playing the guessing game as to whether this is an opportunity for a quality relationship or if this is just another marketer trying to get me on their famous 5,000 friend list. I know that this has happened to you, and it happens to me every single day. And you'll notice if you go look at my profile, I don't have 5,000 friends, not even close. In fact, I have more people who like my official page than I do friends. And the reason for that is all about the review. Let me explain. I take time to review and evaluate every single friend request I receive. I also take time to review my own profile on a regular basis to see how others may perceive me. I'm going to share with you 6 items you should review on all your social media profiles right now. In my Learning Center, in each of my tutorials where I talk about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, blogging, etc., I give you specifics for each one. But today I'm going to give you the top 6 that I think can really apply to all social networks. So, when you review your profile, I want you to consider the following. 1, make it professional. 2, use a great photo. Now, when I say use a great photo, I don't want a photo of your dog. I don't want a photo of your kid. I don't want a photo that's 10 years old. I want a good professional photo of you that actually looks like you, not some glamour shot where when I meet you, I'm like, oh, you don't look like your picture. I want you to use a picture that is a resemblance of you, and I want you to use the same picture everywhere. We go to networking events. We meet people live in the flesh, we shake their hands, we talk to them, and 3 months later we run into them someplace else and we don't remember who they are. I want you to make it easy for people to remember who you are. Keep your photo a good photo, a likable photo that resembles you, and use it everywhere. Number 3, update your bio on a regular basis. Tweak it. Because when people see in your newsfeed that you just updated your bio, they go take a look because they want to see what you changed. Number 4, include what it is you do. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at somebody's profile and I have no idea what it is they do. Make it easy for people to know what you do. Number 5, set up contact information. And I don't mean SusieQCuteness@hotmail.com. If you're using social media for business, your email address needs to be a business email address. If you are not going to invest money in a professional email address that is associated with your website, well, you might as well give up now. People are not taking your business seriously if you do not have a professional email address. And number 6, ensure your privacy settings are correct. Some people stick with the default privacy settings. They don't actually look at them to see what other people view when they look at their profile. If you are using social media for business and you want people to know a bit about you, you want to make sure that your privacy settings, and I go through all the different privacy settings in my learning programs, you want to make sure the privacy settings are set so that they see exactly what you want them to see. So if you go to my public profile on Facebook, facebook.com/Lisa Larter, you'll see what I mean. You can also view pretty much the same information at linkedin.com/in/Lisa Larter. I am setting my profile up to make it easy for people to know who I am and to trust me in the early stages of getting to know me. So if your objective is to use social media to make business connections, then this is critical to your ability to do so. Because if they can't see who you are and know what you're about, you've just lost the first opportunity. The last place I review is my official Facebook page. Facebook pages are like having a full color ad in the yellow pages. You want to ensure that when someone comes to your Facebook page for the first time, that, you make a great first impression. Now, some of you may not be reviewing your pages on a regular basis with a critical eye looking for ways to improve. And I would suggest that you make this a daily, if not probably weekly or a daily practice. Daily is ideal, but weekly is critical. Review who is new. Who are the new people that like your page? Who is commenting? What are your insights saying? And most of all, review how relevant and effective your messaging is. Be sure to tweak and update the info tab on your page on a regular basis. You can do an objective review of how you are doing with your Facebook page by using Edge Rank Checker. Write that down. EdgeRankChecker.com. EdgeRankChecker.com, the site will give you an engagement score so that you can assess your effectiveness. You can do an objective review of how you're doing with your Facebook page by using edgerankchecker.com. I'm going to say that again, edgerankchecker.com. This site will give you an engagement score so you can assess your effectiveness, and there's a scale there that you can take a look at to see how you measure up. You can also review how you're perceived using sites like Clout.com or one of my new favorites, which is tweetstats.com. Taking time to review how you're doing is really important. This is where you can identify many ways to improve how you are perceived by others. So the second step is all around the letter E in the word relate. We've covered the R for review, and E stands for engage. I want you to engage in conversation. Conversation is so underrated these days. What do you mean I gotta talk to somebody? Why do you think people are so addicted to using social media? People are starved for human connection. They're looking for a place to talk with other people, not a place to have people talk at them. Come on, don't you already have someone in your life talking at you, telling what you should do, and you don't listen to them? Why would you want somebody else to talk at you when it comes to social media? But a lot of people are doing that on social media. They don't even notice or acknowledge someone who is talking to them. If you focus on engaging in conversation, you will be way ahead of your competition. One of the things that I also want to talk about here is automation. So I know a lot of you are looking for the easy button where you can upload one message and it goes to all your social networks, and this functionality exists. You can use sites like Ping FM or Hootsuite, but I gotta tell you, it's counterproductive to engaging in conversation. If you're gonna post something on Facebook and I reply to your post, I expect you to be there to respond. If you're not, you run the risk of forgetting that I responded and ignoring me, which is the exact opposite of what you're trying to do if you're trying to build relationships. I bet you've all received the type of email someone you know sends out to themselves, right? It's like me sending an email to me and I'm asking you to do something. Usually it's make a donation or support some cause, and I'm BCC'd among a list of other people. Those emails drive me freaking crazy. They make me feel like I was just added to a list and the email wasn't really intended for me. And I got to tell you, they make me not feel guilty, or they make me feel unguilty. I don't feel bad about not donating to their cause, because if they couldn't take the time to email me directly, they just added me to some big old list. Why should I give them my money? So I want you to think about that. Relationships, Anyways, I digress because I go off on this BCC thing because it drives me crazy. But the message that I really wanted to get across to you today is relationships take time. And they only occur when you have the ability to have a two-way conversation with someone. There are no shortcuts when it comes to building relationships. Look in the mirror. Is there a shortcut somebody can take to building a relationship with you right now? I don't think so. And the most effective relationships that you have in your life are the ones where people are taking an honest and authentic interest in you. I want you to engage in conversation as much as you can. I want you to look for other people's updates that you can comment on and start a conversation. I am inviting you to reply to people when they comment on your posts and acknowledge them. This is critical to keeping the conversation going. Lastly, one of my tricks is you can utilize lists to pay close attention to key individuals, whether they're clients or prospects, friends, family, and give people what I call a kiss and a cuddle from time to time. You know what I mean. Single out your biggest fans, give them a bit of attention. It really will pay back dividends. But here's the deal. People can smell a rat online. So if you single someone out and give them some attention, it really, really must come from an authentic place. So the L in the word relate, now that we have covered review and engage, the L in the word relate stands for listen. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We need to listen twice as much as we speak. And too often we are pushing messages out on social networks and not spending any time listening to what people are saying. There's a huge opportunity here, really, really big opportunity, and most people don't even realize it. If you're hoping that people will notice what you are doing and they're not, chances are because you're not listening often enough to what other people are saying. Here are 3 simple tips for listening in my social media. I back up here. If you are hoping people will notice what you're doing and they're not, chances are it's because you're not listening often enough to what other people are saying. Here are a couple simple tips for listening. In my social media success program, I go into a lot of detail on how to search and mine information for the purpose of listening. It's that important. But for today, I want to share with you my top 2 tips. My first tip is pay attention to what others do. Listen and observe as to what works. A client of mine is a master at engagement. She asks a daily question on her page, and the number of people who respond is astonishing. Yesterday, all she asked is, "What is your favorite red thing?" And she had 21 comments. How simple is that? But because she actually replies and engages with people on a regular basis, they all want to participate. What's key here is listening not only to what they say, but what causes them to engage and interact. Often we're looking for rocket science when it's the simplest things that are the most effective. Try utilizing a question or asking for feedback on your Facebook page and then listen to what people have to say. You're going to want to engage, but listening, paying attention, and even validating other people is huge. We're all built the same way. We forget the emotional aspect of interacting online. We forget what it feels like to have someone talk at us in real life and how much we appreciate it when someone listens to us. You know what it's like? You know what it's like to stand in front of somebody and have them talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and you can't get a word in edgewise. What's that song? I want to talk about me, oh my. I think it's Toby Keith, and it's about this girl, and all she ever does is talk about herself, and he wants to talk about himself for a change. Well, don't be that person. Don't be that person. Most people online are having a one-way conversation. They're talking to their computer, and it's because they fail to listen and observe. Please, if you take one thing away from this call today, do not fall into the trap of talking to your computer when you could be connecting with people. My second tip is this. Listen when people are asking for help. Quite often you see people posting things such as, "Does anyone know someone who does blank?" Does anyone know should be one of the terms your eyes are always on the lookout for. If you're paying close attention to others and listening to what they do, this is a great place for you to show up as a connector. And I'm sure you all have heard of the law of reciprocity. When you do something nice to help someone else, they automatically want to help you. So remember, 90% of consumers trust pure recommendations and only 14% trust advertisements. The difference? Recommendations are a two-way conversation, whereas advertisements are push-only messaging. You have an opportunity to recommend others when you take the time to stop, look, and listen. Okay, let's talk about the A in my little acronym, RELATE. The A in RELATE stands for access. And I have to tell you, I just love the word access. Hang on one sec, I need a little drink. When I first opened my wireless store, I thought networking was when a group of people you know got together to go to a conference and hang out. I had no idea that networking involved walking into a room filled with strangers, exchanging as many business cards as you could in the allotted time, and meeting all the right people. Networking is stressful. Access takes the pain out of meeting new people. When you're effective at using social media to build relationships with people, the door to accessing them in real life opens way easier. The truth is, social media is a starting point for building a relationship. You will never, ever, ever eliminate our need for face-to-face human contact. Access is probably the most important piece of using social media. It's what enables you to pick up the phone and leverage the fact that someone already knows who you are. If anybody does cold calling, I'm sure you know what it's like to dial 100 dials and get 99 voicemails. Well, if you're using social media, you can probably eliminate that. So, my 3 favorite ways to gain access to people I meet via social networks are as follows. A, ask them to set up a time to talk. Even just voice to voice is more powerful than mouse to mouse. B, when you set up a time to talk, try to arrange to meet for coffee or lunch. I know someone on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @LittleRandy, and his bio is, I'm going to read you his bio. I mostly meet people. We mostly have coffee. I drink lots of coffee. Investment fund advisor, life and health insurance advisor by trade. I help people. This guy has built his entire business around gaining access. He only follows people in the city he lives in, and every time he connects with someone new, he listens to what they do and looks for the opportunity to drop by their office and bring them coffee. In my opinion, he's a brilliant example of how gaining access by showing up can take your business from 0 to 100. Now, he's also pretty humble. If you talk to him, he'll tell you that if you were to look at his overall sales the first 2 years he was in business, he could have sold more than he has had he followed the traditional path most advisors follow. However, interesting stat, only 90% of advisors actually make it in this business the first 2 years. And the only stat that he can offer up to me with certainty is that 90% of his business came from social media channels. Out of his entire book of business, he only has 3 people that he deems friends and family, people he has not met online. That to me is pretty impressive. All right, C, or the third way you can gain access if and when you have an opportunity, is to invite someone to an event. Pay attention to the local networking opportunities or the tweet ups. Find a way to host one yourself. For example, this past weekend I spoke at a conference and I was also an exhibitor. And I didn't have to be an exhibitor, but I knew that if I took this extra step, I could drive traffic and positively build relationships and gain access to people I would not normally get to connect with. So a bonus tip I'll give you, if social media is part of your relationship building plan, is to look for people after you attend a networking event and stay connected with them. Like when you get their business card, I want you to go find them and connect with them on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and send them a message and let them know that you met them at an event so that they remember who you are. It's a great way to take the face-to-face interaction to the social network so that you can gain access on a different level later on. Alrighty, moving right along. The T in relate stands for time. It really does take time to make this all happen. I also want to invite you right here, right now, to change your mindset when it comes to time. People always ask me, how much time do you spend on social media? And to be honest, I really don't know the answer because in my world, I view social media as an extension of my inbox. I don't plan time per se because I'm always connected via my mobile device. I need some more water, hang on. I check messages on my social networks with the same frequency that I check email. I've had a $15,000 sale come through my Facebook inbox from somebody that I once went to high school with. So I know that there's value and importance attached to making time for social media. I just don't view it as social media. I think of it more as managing my communication and my relationships, and I really love to share cool stuff. So for those of you who do not have this mindset nailed, I would suggest that you put some structure in place around time. One of the things that I like to recommend with the clients that I work with privately when I'm showing them how to use Twitter is I get them to reply, retweet, and post 10 times in a row. And over again, they see that it only takes 5 minutes to do that. So my belief is you need to make time to show up if you're investing in relationships and in your business. And if part of your marketing strategy is to be seen where people are, then you need to go where people go. Maybe you need to think about some of the ways you're currently spending time, whether or not it's still working for your business. The definition of insanity, after all, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. If you don't have time alignments set up, as in, a time to check in the morning, time to check in midday, time to check in at the end of the day, you also may want to consider building that right into your schedule. And I want to talk about those cold calls again. If you're dialing 100 numbers a day because someone told you that that's what you have to do, and 99% of your calls are going to voicemail and they're not returned, you actually may want to shift some of that time to trying to set up coffee with people in your social networks. We all have 24 hours in a day, and we all have to choose how to spend our time to get the biggest impact. The one thing I can tell you for certain, if you are staying the same in everything that you do in your business, your competition is not. Your competition is going to be doing things differently, and they're going to be getting better, and they're going to arrive at the success destination before you. It doesn't have to be that way if you're ready to make changes now. In my social media success program, we talk a lot about strategy. My belief is if you do not have a plan, your activities cannot be in alignment with your goals. I want you to be on purpose when you're taking time out of your busy life to use social media. And that, my friends, always, always, always starts with a plan. So, my tips on time are: take time to plan, take time to offer value, take time to post content that is helpful and useful for others, take time to use language that is likable. Be cautious of the language you use. It could make the news. You don't necessarily want that to happen. Take time to respond to people. They don't care how much you know until they know that you actually care about them. Now, the final step in my acronym RELATE is E, and E stands for execute. Execute is such a powerful word. I love it. The difference between successful people and people who wish they were successful are those who take action. People who are able to take decisive action always accomplish more faster than the average person. We've all heard that before, right? The 5%ers. It's all fine and dandy to learn about social media, but if you never practice what you are being taught, you will stay where you are right now. You can't learn how to fly a plane by reading a book. You can't learn how to use social media without practicing. When I used to teach people in my corporate job, one of the things that we always looked at was knowledge versus practice. When someone learned something new, often they knew what to do and how to do it, but they lacked the willingness to take action. And that is because anytime you're learning to do something new, you start in a place of discomfort. Well, I got news for you. Get used to that feeling of discomfort because it is a good thing. Most people, when learning, go through 4 phases. The first phase is unconscious incompetence, otherwise known as I don't know how to do something, or I don't know that I suck. And that's what I was like when I first signed up for Twitter many years ago. I didn't get it, and instead of being what I now call a Twitter quitter, I hired somebody to teach me how to use Twitter. Then I moved to the second phase, which is conscious incompetence. I now know that I'm not good at something and I need help. I can either stay here or move forward. So I actually moved to that phase when I hired somebody, because in the beginning I didn't know what I didn't know when I signed up for my Twitter account. When I tried to use it and I didn't get it, I now know I don't know how to do this. So think about when you learned to tie your shoelaces. You probably had slip-on shoes in the beginning, so you really had no idea. You didn't know how to tie those laces. And then someone showed you, probably your mom or your dad, and the first time, in spite of putting those big bows together, it just didn't work. That's the conscious incompetence phase. That's when you know you do not know how to do something. But after trying, you move to a new place. You move to a place called conscious competence. You really had to pay attention and you really had to concentrate, but you could tie your shoelaces now. But most people never get to this phase when they become adults because they give up on their learning as soon as they realize they're not perfect at something. We're so afraid to take imperfect action. God, where did we learn that? It's awful. Take imperfect action. It's the best thing you can do in your adult life. The great news, though, is once you become consciously competent, you're only a small step away from unconscious competence. That means you don't even have to think about it anymore. It's just easy for you. It's intuitive. Well, that's where I want to take you when it comes to social media. I want to eliminate all that overwhelm, all that confusion for you, and make it something that's fun and exciting and rewarding for you and your business. Most of all, I want to make sure your business is still around in 5 years because you did not get left behind. I don't want you to get left behind. Now, I know there are a lot of unanswered questions, and I told you at the beginning the bad news was we only have an hour. The good news is we can continue to talk if you're willing to move through the phases of learning and to create something great. I've put together a new program, and really, it's just for you. It's called 8 Weeks to Be Social, and it's all about helping you create your social media success strategy. I'm going to be honest here. I want to be your social media success partner. I want to help you move ahead when it comes to building relationships, expanding your network, and monetizing your business. So are you done? Are you done with social media overwhelm? Because if you're done with social media overwhelm, then I want you to go to www.yoursocialmediasuccesspartner.com. That's www.yoursocialmediasuccesspartner.com. And I'm super excited about this because I love teaching large groups of people who are super inspired to take action. This program is really designed to give you comprehensive training on creating a plan for you and your business while teaching you all the skills that you need to be proficient at how you use social media. You're going to learn how to create a strategy that is unique to you so that all of your social media actions align with your business goals. How awesome is that? So I want you to go over there right now. yoursocialmediasuccesspartner.com, and I just want to kind of walk you through and explain everything to you. So I want to eliminate those feelings of fear, overwhelm, and intimidation and simplify it and make it easy and make you feel good. I want you to enjoy it, to be excited, and actually feel inspired and rewarded when you use social media. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what is social media and how can it work for you. One of the things that I think is so important is actually peeling back the layers of the onion and really figuring out your why. And I think that too often people jump on social media as an application versus understanding what it is intended for and how it can work for you. I'm also going to go through all the elements you need to create a simple and effective social media strategy. Now remember, I come from the corporate world. That's what I do, right? I work in the corporate world and I am used to doing strategies, objectives, and tactics, but I'm going to simplify it and I'm going to give you a proven system that works when it comes to social media. I'm going to give you my system, the one that I use, so that you can model all the things that I've done. I'm also going to show you how to measure your progress, your influence, and your success when it comes to social media. If you can't measure where you're going, then how can you tell whether it's actually making a difference? We're going to measure at the beginning, we're going to measure midway through, we're going to measure at the end so that you can actually monitor and see how you're doing. And then I'm going to teach you how to measure where you're at against your competition so you can see who is really being more effective at how they engage and build relationships. We're going to go through all the intricacies of setting up your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn profiles so that some of the little things that you might not know about, especially when it comes to privacy settings, are set up in such a way that it really allows for you to be found and known online. I'm going to teach you one of my big secrets for keeping in touch and leveraging relationships, which is how to segment your friends, fans, connections, and clients into lists so that you can actually pay attention and talk to the right people and not forget about people. You don't want people to get lost so that you're not paying attention to what's most important. We're also going to teach you how to blog. There's so much information in this program. We're going to teach you how to set up a blog, how to create a content plan for your blog, why you need to blog, how to be a better part of the blog community, how to get people to read your blog, how to share your blog, get them to comment on your blog, all things blog related, how to do video blogs. And we're going to teach you the communication styles that you can use to interact with people so that they notice you without you having to sell. So that means you won't be known as one of those people who is always going, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. We see them in our news feeds all the time, and usually we hide them instead of embrace them. I'm going to prevent you from being hidden in the news feed. I'm going to help you create a Facebook page that actually gets liked. How many people do you know out there? They're begging for likes so they can get a custom URL. I'm going to show you the magic formula for getting all kinds of people to like your Facebook page in a really effective and easy way. You're going to have a Facebook page that absolutely rocks. And I'm also going to give you access to all the resources that I use to make my branding as awesome as it is. I'm going to connect you to people who you can work with. You can hire them to help you do some of this stuff for you if you're not quite sure about all that HTML stuff. That's what I do. I'm going to teach you how to market to that list of fans once you get them, but we're not going to call it market. We're going to call it relationship build. I'm going to teach you how to build a stronger relationship with those people so that they want to listen and engage when you have something to say. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to leverage the brand of you without having to sell, and how you guys can collaborate with each other to market your business. This is going to be such an incredible program, and the bonuses that we have are fantastic. The bonus that I think I'm the most excited about is the invitation to the Secret Society on Facebook, where I will be showing up every single day and I will be answering your questions, and together as a group we will be helping each other. You're going to get my social media e-dictionary, which tells you all those terms that probably confuse you. And we're going to do a social media audit at the end of the program. So you get to tell me when you're ready for your audit. And then somebody on my team is going to go through all your stuff and they're going to tell you what's missing. So that not only do you have a plan at the beginning, but you actually have like a teacher come and check your homework and make sure that that plan, whatever is missing, gets identified so that you can do those things too. Oh, and I forgot to tell you one other thing that's really important. In that secret society, in addition to answering your questions, I am going to prescribe daily activities for you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spoon feed you small bits of information on a daily basis to help set you up for success. We're going to have weekly calls where questions get answered and we get to discuss strategy and results, how people are doing. They're going to be group calls and they're going to be fantastic. And you're going to have access to my learning center. And inside of my learning center, you will learn everything you need to learn about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and blogging so that you never have to worry about how to navigate those sites again. You never have to question where to click or where to go to find something. And these training materials are designed so that they're easy to execute. They're short, small bursts of training that are really designed from an adult learning perspective so that you get the most value for the time that you spend learning. And then lastly, you're going to get a 30-minute private one-on-one with me where I'm going to hone in and help you with whatever it is that you need help with at the end of that 8-week program. And you can schedule that whenever it is convenient for you. You're going to learn the insider tricks that savvy business owners are using to network on sites like Facebook and actually make money. I already have quite a few people enrolled in this program because I have to be honest. I just spoke at an event and I launched the program there, and a lot of people chose to sign up. So I know right now that there's going to be a big group of people that you're going to be able to interact with and leverage and get to know. So you're going to meet exceptional, like-minded people, and together you're going to learn how to leverage relationships. You're going to learn how to help each other win. So I have one special request that I would ask of you today, and that request is only do this if it feels like what you've been looking for. If you haven't gone there yet, please go to yoursocialmediasuccesspartner.com. This program is the answer to the question I get asked every day. How do I create a strategy that works and really, once and for all, figure out how to effectively use social media in your business? You're going to get that, and you're going to have access to all of these materials for a year. Now, I want you to answer this one question for me. If this program was free, what would your answer be? If this program was free, what would you be saying right now? If your response would be, hell yeah, sign me up, guess what? Free is not invested. When you invest in yourself through others, you take the commitment that you make seriously. But I do want to make the financial piece a bit easier for you. If you click on the Buy Now button and you use the code LisaVIP, you're going to gain access to the early bird rate, and you're going to save $500 off this program. And it gets better. If you decide yes in the next couple of days, you could even sign up for the payment plan. How easy is that? You see, the truth is, I already have lots of people in this program. So all I really want to do is help you. I'm not attached to your decision. Either way, I really appreciate you being here on this call today and investing time in your learning. I do, however, want to reward the individuals who are ready to take decisive action, the 5% who really want to shine. If you're one of those people who really believes in growing your business based on the relationships you build with other people, and you're ready to take a leadership role when it comes to social media in your industry, then I want you to work in partnership with me. I promise to be the person you can count on to help you figure things out when they're complicated. I promise, if I don't know the answer, to find you the answer. I promise to lead this dynamic and interactive group of individuals who are all part of the same Be Social cause. I promise to rally and support you on the direction of your business, and I promise you do not need to figure this out alone. In addition to all the different bonuses that I just told you about, there's one more. You get to spend one full day with me in October in Tampa, Florida, where I will be holding a live event on leadership and communication in a social economy. This event is going to be life-changing. And the first 11 people who choose to take decisive action are going to receive a VIP invitation to a private cocktail with me the evening before the live event. You're going to get to hang out and get to know me and each other a whole lot better. This will be a really great time for us to connect and get to know each other before the event. And I promise you, if you think you got great content today, or if you think I've delivered good content when you've seen me speak, you're going to be blown away by what I am going to teach you during this program and during this live event. You are going to learn skills that can not only change your business, but change your life. My final thought, the last thing that I want to leave you with today, comes from a necklace that I wear every day that my husband gave me. It simply says this: the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I am inviting you to invest in your future and live your dream. Thank you so much for being part of this call, and I hope to see you soon.